Welcome to The Sports Answer with Rudy Campos Jr. From the latest NBA news to the gridiron and beyond, we are diving deep into the headlines that matter most to you. Today's show is proudly brought to you by Salem Surround San Antonio, your local experts in digital marketing and audience connection. Before we break the huddle, do me a huge favor. Head over to YouTube and subscribe to The Answer Now TV. Don't miss a single highlight, interview, or heated debate. The clock is ticking, and the game is on. Let's go.
So, like, I hear about the Spurs, this y Spurs that, y como que esto y esta, pero I never hear about the real Spurs chisme. Nine, por favor.
As you can see, it's the Friday drive edition of the Sports Answer. And of course, I'm behind the wheel, so it's literally a mobile.
You're literally driving the ship today,
Yeah.
Rudy. You're literally driving the ship.
I am parked, but we're not in studio today. I've actually got something that's come up tonight, so we're going to be doing it here with Jeff Garcia. Derek Irvin is off tonight. He'll be back next week. And of course, it's going to be a pretty much Spurs Cheeseman edition of the Friday Drive. Jeff, thank you from Spurs in Focus. Thank you for coming on the Friday Drive with me. Are you ready to talk some Spurs ball?
First of all, Rudy, I got your back. We'll give Derek the business the next time that he's on and be like, "Oh, okay, Derek, okay, yeah. Take all the time you want, Derek."
Because then they think I'm really driving. So
I did that, yeah. But no, appreciate the invite. Thank you for allowing me to take Derek's seat at least for today and talk all things Spurs.
Yeah,
I guess the Thunder and their fouls situation, and also shout out San Antonio Toros later on.
Yeah, the Toros. So give me a quick synopsis and briefing of the Toros, because it's a new football season starting up here in San Antonio. They've got some great ownership, and it feels kind of like the Green Bay Packers, where the fans are kind of owners as well. Shed a little light on the Toros here.
Yeah, I'll make it quick because I know y'all want to talk about Game 3, Spurs Wolves. So basically, there is a new pro team in San Antonio called the San Antonio Toros. It's actually the revival of a 1960s, 70s team that used to be in San Antonio called the Toros. They brought them back after decades later. Their season starts in 17 days. You're going to be playing at the Incarnate Word football field. And it's locally owned, fan owned. Their symbol is the Brahma bull, very reminiscent of the San Antonio Brahmas. Yeah. Red, black, white colors. They recently revealed the helmet, the new football, everything. And yours truly is their official writer, their beat writer. So I'll be taking my talents from the basketball court to the football field in 17 days. Preseason action starts later this month. And then it's showtime. It's a quick season. So get your tickets now. They're dirt cheap, $10. It's literally, I think, Rudy, like 4 home games and 4 away games. And should they make the playoffs, well, then that's a whole different schedule. But at least for the regular season, it's pretty much in and out. So you'll definitely get a chance to catch the Toros. Just follow me on X at Jeff G Spurs Zone. There you'll see some articles that I'll pop up every once in a while about the Toros. But more importantly, Spurs Wolves tonight, Rudy.
Yeah, Spurs and Wolves. Quick shout out to San Antonio Toros. It's going to be a great season. But hey, we'll talk about Game 2 here. The Spurs, obviously with Game 1, Jeff. Spurs ended up losing by 2, and don't listen to the national media. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Don't listen to national media. Who cares about what Kendrick Perkins does when he flip-flops back and forth? You don't want to
or Skip Bayless. Or
Skip Bayless, yeah. You don't listen to the national garbage media. There's no way to listen to that. There's a few guys out there that I really love listening to, but those 2 guys definitely not. The Spurs had a very off game, and when I say off game, you're talking about Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox.
It was off,
in Game 1. And then, you can kind of knew that the Spurs were like, you know what, this is our bad. It's on us. We're okay. Came out Game 2 and they curb stomped, the Minnesota Timberwolves. And
it was bad.
It just really wasn't a game. If I'm not mistaken, Jeff, the T-Wolves led for about a minute of the entire game. It was.
Yeah. I'll get the numbers here.
You've got
I'll get it for you right now. But
we're talking total domination. The Game 1, the Spurs, they dominated the stats when it came to team stats. And sure enough, they got the loss only because their 2 best players had some off games. And then Game 2, again, they dominated the stats. And it shows why a lot of people are picking them to be your NBA champion this year. Your thoughts from game 2, and does it carry over to game 3 tonight?
Well, first of all, to answer your question, so Rudy, I mentioned this to you on Spurs and Focus, and I want to mention
Yeah.
now to your audience here. So the game is 48 minutes, right, everybody? Right, 48-minute game. In game 2, your San Antonio Spurs led the way for 46 minutes and 1 second. How long did the Wolves lead in game 2? 17 seconds. That was it. That should tell you just how dominant this team was. But Rudy, you were asking me right now, what was your question here?
So do you think that dominance from game
Oh,
2
yes.
carries
We'll
over
carry
into
over.
game 3? I know we got keys to
Yeah.
victory coming up here in a little bit, but I want to know because a lot of Spurs fans felt after game 1, oh God, we got a loss. The world's
Yeah.
going to end. We can't go honking and blowing fireworks on Commerce Street anymore.
Literally lighting
What's
streets on fire. Don't do that.
Yeah, literally that. We're going to get into that later. To game 2, where we're starting to puff our chest out again and say, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
This is why we're the best. This is why we're the best defensive team. Yada, 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 yada. But do you think it carries over into game 3, as in we're going to see them blow out Minnesota again? Or do you see it kind of be a little bit closer?
Gonna be a little bit closer. I think there will be no curb stomping. I think you'll probably get something very similar to game 1. This is going to be in the Wolves gym. That crowd is loud. They're into it. After the game, what really stood out for me when I was looking at the Minnesota side is that they were not rattled. They didn't look like they weren't hanging their heads down. Anthony Edwards, yeah, he thought it was a loss, but he was kind of like, hey, it's one of those games. And I asked you that too. And by the way, to answer your question, yes, I think they will carry over that mojo, that power, that energy they had into game 3, but they just got to weather the storm to start, because the Wolves are going to come out strong. And by the way, why they keep on saying that Anthony Edwards is questionable? We know he's going to play. Why are you doing that, Wolves? There's no reason to do that. But
yeah, there was a lot of concern about him walking out of the arena with 2 ice packs on his knees. And for those that don't play sports, we're never athletes. That's pretty common after a game, especially when you do have a knee injury. You're going to ice the knees. It's just a common thing. So I wouldn't buy anything into that.
Yeah, exactly. So I do believe that energy, that focus, the corrections they made from 1 to 2 going into 3 tonight will be there. And they did. They didn't come out flat, as we saw in game 1. They didn't allow at all. I just told you the number, 17 seconds. That's all they led, the Minnesota Timberwolves. They didn't allow the Wolves to have a large lead where they had to climb out of it and nearly escape game 1 with a win. Spurs really should be 2-0 right now. It should not be 1-1. So I do believe that'll carry over. And when I'm looking at tonight's game, Rudy, for me is just, I want to see how this young core that's just has a 2-game playoff experience under their belt handles for their first time ever a big stage game in the Western Conference semifinals. Now, they proved it against Portland when they went into Portland and beat them twice in a row in their gym. But that was Portland. This is a different beast. This is a back-to-back conference appearance team that they're facing. A team that probably is a little PO'd, I should say, about how they lost game 2. So I want to see how they weather that storm. The other thing I want to see, Rudy, and I'll get your thoughts on this, is are we going to see the Spurs stars, Wemby and Fox, do what they did in game 2 into game 3? It was vital. They set the tone. Fox and Wemby set the tone to start the game. Do you expect that to happen again?
Absolutely. I will say this. Between the 2 guys, I kind of expect Wemby to have a similar start to the game. I think De'Aaron will have an okay start to the game. It's something weird, because I noticed that if De'Aaron doesn't really start the game off really hot, he kind of gets going towards the middle of the game, and you hope it continues to the 4th quarter. I think in game 3, the adjustment's going to be by Chris Finch. We know De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama got off to a very fast start. Which one do you want us to beat first? I think they have an easier time stopping De'Aaron Fox at the beginning of the game, and they're going to allow Wemby to just do his game. So do I think a similar start for both of them? I expect them to have a similar start like they did in game 2, but I also can feel like maybe De'Aaron Fox would get kind of bottled up a little more tough for him to get to the basket and the score. So fully think that Chris Finch and his coaching staff is going to make that kind of adjustment. And again, they're also going to look at Stephon Castle, who's averaging
Yeah.
5 fouls in this
Five
series. And
fouls in
again,
this series. Yeah.
whenever he plays Minnesota, it's always the same thing. He
Hmm.
always seems to get in foul trouble. So
He does.
I think I think the coaching staff for the Wolves is doing a tremendous job against San Antonio. I think they're going to come out tonight and they're going to do another type of adjustment, make more adjustments. And I think one of them is to kind of peel back De'Aaron Fox a little bit, make it a little bit more tougher for him, and maybe let Victor get on, get his points and get, going quicker than De'Aaron
Hmm.
Fox does. But
Yeah.
talking to Jeff Garcia, Spurs in Focus, Derek Irvin is off today. He'll be back next week. Not in studio, obviously. This is the Friday Drive, the Sports Answer.
Yeah.
Literally
Literally
driving because
drive. Look at Rudy.
I'm
Literally
not
a drive.
driving, guys. I'm in my car, but literally on the drive. And again, you can go to Answer Now TV, hit that subscribe button. You go to Spurs and Focus on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. All part of the Answer Now TV family. Before we go to commercial break, Jeff, again, this is going to be a very short show, about 30,
Sure.
35 minutes or so. But before we go to our first commercial break and our only commercial break here, keys to victory tonight. Now, when you and I talked in Spurs Focus, actually recently, I think as of this morning, we broke down game 3 and we thought, okay, these are our
Yeah.
keys to victory. One of them, as mentioned right now, was Stephon Castle's foul trouble. Now,
Yeah.
he's
Huge.
having a good he's having a good series. He's having a good
Yes.
playoff. We're not downplaying anything that Stephon is doing, but it's the foul trouble that he gets into because when you get into the fourth quarter, you need him to be, there in the fourth with Victor, with De'Aaron. You want him to stay aggressive, but do you think we've got to peel back that aggressiveness from him?
Mm.
I made it very clear that those
Mm.
people that wanted to get of De'Aaron Fox, we got to
Yeah.
get rid of him. Well, if you get rid of him, you take away the physicality that Stephon Castle brings to the team because he can get into quick foul trouble, yet you still have Harper and De'Aaron Fox to fall back on. So is Stephon Castle's physicality, early foul trouble, stuff like that, is that concerning for you? And is that one of the keys to
Hmm.
victory tonight to make sure he's on the floor in a hostile Minnesota crowd?
Oh yeah, you hit it on the head. He's averaging 5 fouls per game. I mean, literally, he's flirting with getting thrown out. Probably even tonight. He probably picked up 3 fouls right now. The game hasn't even started. That's how crazy it is. But I look at that, and there, yeah, I think to me it's a fine line. It's a fine line because you want him to. You don't want to take away what he does best, which is being aggressive, going to the rim,
Mm-hmm.
being aggressive on the defensive end. You don't want to take away that. I feel if they tell him to peel it back, then you're not getting a true Castle. So no, I don't think he should stop what he's been doing all season long. If anything, maybe just play smarter. Maybe anything, just adjust to how the refs are calling fouls. If he sees how they're calling them after foul 1 or 2, okay, that's how they're doing it. Okay, then mess with that. But I think just learning by fire right now how NBA refs call games in the playoffs. I think that's his biggest lesson right now that he's been learning since the Portland series and especially now. But you look at what he's doing in the series, he's still putting up monster numbers despite the fact the foul trouble. So for the series through 2 games versus Minnesota, he's a plus 10.5. In game 2, he was a plus 17. Now he's averaging 19 points, 4.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists in 26 minutes in these last 2 games heading into tonight's game. But again, the foul trouble, it's there. He's averaging about 5 fouls a game. And surprisingly, he's shooting the ball very well. That was a knock on him. But so far this postseason and in this series, he's been shooting that down. He has an effective field goal percentage shooting in the series of 64%, Rudy, and knocking down 58% of his shots inside the 3 line, obviously near the basket.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really not taking any 3 shots. So far through 2 games, he's only taken 1. That's it. So not a good sample size there. But overall, no, he's doing a bang-up job playing with that foul trouble through 2 games. And you mentioned De'Aaron Fox a little while ago. He also, too, same thing for him. He's been this is where I see what you're saying, Rudy, when it comes to Spurs fans kind of bagging on him a lot.
Yeah.
So I said a little while ago, Castle is a plus 10 in the series. All right. In this series versus the Wolves, Mr. Fox, he's in game 2. He was a plus 24. He was a plus 24 there. Now overall is a plus 5.5. So Castle's doing well. But you saw what happens when you get a focused, dialed in Fox that is doing what he does best, as we saw in game 2. So overall, no, the Spurs, they definitely have a three-headed monster at that guard position, and the Wolves are finding out about that, Rudy.
Yeah, they are finding out about it, and it's a good thing that the Spurs have that three-guard rotation. It's a very good that Dillon
Mm-hmm.
Harper is playing like a seasoned veteran and not like a rookie, and that's something that we had harped on a lot throughout the season. His growth, and he's not. I mean, he's a young guy, he's a kid, but he plays like he's been in the league 3 or 4 years already. So you see the superstar coming out of Dillon Harper that's adding to Wemby, that's adding to Fox and Castle. One other thing for me, Jeff, on the road is, and I'm going to get to a couple of keys of victory here as well, but for me, I'm going to go back a series here. I'm going to go back to
Okay.
Portland. The only 2 times that we saw the Spurs on the road in the playoffs, they were down huge in those games to start the games. They were down, what, by 17 in one game? They
Mm-hmm.
were down by, I think, 15 in one game. They came back to win those 2 games in Portland, but this is not Portland. So my
Mm-hmm.
other key to victory is do not come out flat to start the game,
Yep.
nor after halftime. Because Minnesota, if you get down 15 points in Minnesota at the Target Center, you're probably not going to come back. This is not a Portland team. This is not an
Mm-hmm.
inexperienced team. This is a team that has been to the Western Conference Finals in back-to-back years, going for their third straight appearance in the Western Conference Finals. So again,
Right.
biggest key for me, Jeff, is you cannot fall behind on this Minnesota Timberwolves thing, thinking you can come back after halftime.
No, they're going to put the clamps on that. We saw that in game 1,
Mhm.
where sure, they nearly relinquished the lead versus San Antonio, but luck was on Minnesota's side and they held on.
Yeah.
So no, I hear you about that. But for my key is this, and it's a eye-popping number, and it's something they've been doing well, even in the loss to Minnesota, and that is fast break points. They need to keep
Yeah.
that up. Right now, through 2 games, they're averaging 28 fast break points. How many points are the Wolves generating in fast break situations? Averaging 7.5. That's it. They are dominating. So I need them to play at a faster pace. They need to get up and downs. That seems to give the Wolves problems. The numbers show that. So yeah, 28 on average. That's an average. Fast break points. That's a big key to me. Another thing too is just rebounding. The Spurs, despite Minnesota maybe just being a little bit bigger than they are, they're actually winning the boards right now. They're averaging 51 rebounds per game to Minnesota's 44. So it's a close fight right now, but I think those opportunities they can generate on the defensive and offensive rebounding side is key. I need to see them keep up that pace, control the boards. Hopefully that'll lead to a win tonight.
Yeah, those are our keys to victory for tonight. It's Minnesota, it's San Antonio, it's game 3, pivotal game 3. Now, again, as far as lose, it's not the end of the world. They can always come back to
It's
win game
not?
4.
It's not,
So, I
Rudy?
mean,
What?
I took the Spurs in 6, so I'm expecting them to lose 2 games somewhere in this series. So, I think Derek had them in 5. So Derek's already on he needs to sweep the rest of the way.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a it's a key pivotal game. Yes, game 3 is key and pivotal, but I think it's more important to win that game if you're down 0-2.
Yeah.
Then you're pretty much in a must-win situation. Right now, I don't think it's an extremely must-win situation. I think for the Spurs, it's a keep the momentum going type of thing here.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel the pressure is more on Minnesota tonight.
See, and I
I
had it on
think
the Spurs. You and
See,
I
I have
have
it
it
on
on
Minnesota,
opposite.
man. See, I think
Go ahead.
okay,
I
well, why
want
do
to
you have
hear
it
on
on the
Minnesota.
Spurs? Why do you have it on the Spurs?
So, okay, for San Antonio, for me, it's because you've got the momentum. You've got the big win in game 2. You don't want to give Minnesota an opportunity to get any type of hope. You barely lost to Minnesota by 2 only because your 2 guys didn't play well.
Mm-hmm.
You crushed them in game 2. You showed the reason why you're the second best team in the league. You're one of the best defensive teams in the league. You don't want to go into game 3 a little complacent and be like, it's okay. We lost. It's not a big deal. No,
Mm-hmm.
you want to go in there. You want to basically shut the crowd out. You want to make sure this Timberwolves team knows we are that good. We're not just here because we had a good
Yeah.
regular season. We are here because we're dominant. That's why I think for Spurs, game 3 is important for them to win because it's about momentum. If you give Minnesota any type of momentum. Not only do they have home court advantage now, you've got a game 4 in Minnesota. So giving them that kind of hope, you can may as well be down 3-1 at the end of 4 games.
See, for me, I think Minnesota needs to win this for the exact same reasons you just gave for the Spurs. I think for Minnesota, you don't want the Spurs to have that momentum. You want to crush their young playoff souls.
Yeah.
I think you want to maintain the home court advantage. Minnesota stole it. If they lose tonight, they give it right back to San Antonio.
Yeah.
You're in your gym. You're in your home crowd. It's the first playoff game in this series there. So I think it's all on Minnesota too. And also too, this kind of can go either way, but really statistically, doesn't whoever wins game 3 usually goes on to win the series?
Statistically speaking, yes.
Yes.
I mean, it's positive that if you win game 3, you go on to win the series.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's as much as we think it is. I don't think it's like a high percentage, but
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Minnesota needs to come in. They need to get this victory. They need to make sure that they they keep home court advantage as well. So I understand that the both sides of the story, man, both sides of the fence here. Who do you guys think out there? Do you think it's more important for San Antonio? Do you think it's more important for Minnesota? Jeff, give me your final prediction for tonight's game.
Spurs in a nail biter. I think they win by 5, and it's going to be settled in the final minutes of the 4th.
You've got Spurs by 5. I actually called 117-110. Spurs with the 7-point victory. It's going to be a closer game.
Do you have a DeLorean time machine? Is that what it is? You're very specific. You're very specific about this.
I will not say that I can predict the future.
Are you actually in the time machine right now? Is this actually post game already of game 3?
I will not say that I have not seen the outcome or I have seen the outcome. But if you remember a lot, I've been able to predict a lot of stuff that's happened in the sports world. So remember De'Aaron Fox was the whole year and a half away from coming to San Antonio. And we were saying he's a Spur. He's going to be traded. He's going to be traded. Sure enough, a year and a half later, he's traded to the Spurs. So I got 117-110. Spurs are going to win. I think we're going to see a tight game up until the very end of the game. Fully expected to be tied around 97, and then the Spurs kind of just blow it away after that. Jeff Garcia, Rudy Campos Jr., Derek Irvin will be back next week. It's time for a quick commercial break. Word from our sponsor, Sounds of Salem Surround, 210-526-3635. Call them today. It's Jeff Garcia. It's Rudy Campos Jr. This is the Sports Drive. We'll be back in a second.
Looking for the inside track on the silver and black? From deep dive analysis to breaking news on Wemby and the squad, get it all at Spurs in Focus. Join veteran beat writer Jeff Garcia for the ultimate one-stop spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. Subscribe now at spursinfocus.substack.com.
Billboards, gas stations, gyms, grocery stores, and more.
Salem Media puts your brand in front of San Antonio wherever life takes them.
Call 210-526-3626. Call 210-526-3626 and get noticed.
You know your business inside and out, but does your community? With Salem Media's podcast and video production services, you can share your expertise and connect with customers on their commute or wherever they listen. We handle production and distribution, so your content reaches the right ears on multiple podcast platforms. Stop letting competitors own the conversation. Call Salem Media today and ask about our local business podcast packages. Call Chris at 210-526-3631. 210-526-3631.
From outer space to San Antonio. Splash! Go Spurs go! And that is nothing but net.
There you go, man. The alien with the
shout out Shemaya, man. Shemaya does some bang up job with those things.
When you got the best producer in the business, Jeff, you get a little bit of great projects there.
Yeah, he totally just tore down my intro on Spurs in Focus with that when he put together. Yeah, I was all thinking like popping my collar, like look what I made, and I see that, I'm like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, Shemaya puts us all to shame, man. Shout out to Shemaya, our executive producer here on the Sports Answer, the Friday Drive. Jeff Garcia, Rudy Campos Jr., Derek Irvin will be back next week, and got y'all ready for game 3 tonight for San Antonio. There's one NBA topic that came up before we give our PSA for the San Antonio Spurs, and that is one Draymond Green versus Charles Barkley. Now, golly, man, Draymond tends to put his foot in his mouth, and I get it. he feels he's that good because he's got the titles. I mean, he can thank Steph and Clay and
Yeah.
KD for those titles. Um, but again, without Steph Curry, Draymond Green doesn't have Defensive Player of the Year awards. He's not
Yeah.
this kind of a player. Yada yada, so on, so on, so on. The disrespect is horrible, and I thought about it so much, Jeff. I thought about it a lot. I keep thinking, why does this generation of fan like to disrespect our older NBA and even
Right.
NFL stars, everything? When I snapped, I'm like, you know what? I had that light bulb moment. It's because today's basketball players, today's NBA players, majority have zero respect for the past.
Hmm.
They don't care about what Michael Jordan accomplished because they never really saw him. They don't care about what Charles Barkley had accomplished because he doesn't have a ring. They care more about today's players, which I get, promote today's players because you're in the league right now. But why do they keep squashing history and thinking history doesn't mean anything when history was the reason why the league is where it is today? I'm pretty fed up with Draymond Green when it comes to this kind of talk, especially, to Charles Barkley, who even up to his Houston years was putting up numbers.
I'm assuming you're referring to the comment where he kind of poked fun of the Rockets,
Yeah.
assembling what was it, him, and it was Barkley, Clyde, was Dream was still on there, right?
Yeah, Pippen and Dream were still there, and that's the one where he's kind of basically saying, well, I hope I have a better career than you in Houston or something like that. Which, I mean, Barkley's worst year is Draymond's like Hall of Fame year. Put it that way.
Yeah, if you go pound for pound statistically, Barkley at this point in their career still was putting up numbers Draymond couldn't get close to. You can argue both ways. You can say, well, yeah, he does. Green, he did have Klay Thompson and Curry, and yeah, there's only one basketball. Barkley was the guy in Philadelphia, was the guy in Phoenix, and then trailed off after that. But nevertheless, part of me thought, and I did see that back and forth they had. I thought, well, I thought like, okay, well, Draymond's just saying that just for clicks, just for views, to get him going. And also, I feel bad for Barkley. So I feel like he's kind of like a whipping boy sometimes. Shaq pokes fun of him. Draymond pokes fun of him, and obviously San Antonio pokes fun of him, but rightfully so because of the comments he makes about the city and the women. But I think Draymond, man, I think he's just that guy, that uber competitive. And it's not just with Barkley. You look at other past situations, he said some very iffy, controversial things regarding other players, his team, the Warriors and whatnot. But man, I think sometimes this generation is a little out of touch and very centric. They don't want to look beyond what they see. They don't understand that. Guess what? Before Wemby, there was a guy named Wilt Chamberlain that was just an alien. He was the alien before the current alien.
Putting up numbers like numbers you probably would never see.
Before Draymond, there was a guy named Rodman and Charles Barkley that played similar styles. The same thing. The list goes on and on and on. Before Joker, there was Arvydas Sabonis. So you tend to forget those that came back. I think Draymond's a victim of that. He just forgets sometimes there were others before him. And Barkley's career, just his single career, is way better than Green's. But the thing about it, though, is Draymond Green's going to go in the Hall of Fame. That's going to happen, Rudy.
Sadly, I'm going to say sadly, he goes into the Hall of Fame because, you can say, well, I've been asked so many questions about it. Like, does he go? And shout out to Leha. It says two of the best in the game, chopping it up. We appreciate your comment, Leha.
Thank you, Leha.
Appreciate you being out there, man. But sadly, he goes in, and I'm probably, I say yes, he's a Hall of Famer based off of what he's accomplished. But statistically speaking, I mean, the guy doesn't even get into a high school Hall of Fame with those stats.
Oh, man.
I mean, serious. He's going to get in because of his titles, because of his run with the Warriors, because he does have other accomplishments, Defensive Player of the Year, all defensive NBA. And he's got the accomplishments and the accolades to get into the Hall of Fame, which again, I mean, we can honestly say if you really pull back the curtains, Jeff, Reggie Miller, look at his stats and look at his career. It's not Hall of Fame worthy. If not for a shot, the shot against the Knicks and pushing Michael Jordan to win that game against the Bulls. I mean, Reggie hasn't really had a Hall of Fame career, but he's a Hall of Famer. He's we consider one of the greatest players of the game. Draymond, on that sense, is not Reggie Miller. And that's why I've always said he's not a Hall of Famer. I mean, if you want to base his Hall of Fame statistics on rings, well, Robert Ory should be in the Hall of Fame. If you want to base his statistics off of accolades and achievements, okay, you can get him in because others have gotten in with less. So I'll say that. But you're right. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. And it's sad, but you know what? It's not the MLB. They're not going to say, no, Draymond, you can't come in. We're going to make it that tough for you. It's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. They celebrate all the basketball players out there that have accomplished stuff. But for me, he's not a Hall of Famer. Or for you, is he a Hall of Famer?
Anything on paper, he is on paper. Just what he's done, I think. Yeah, you put him in, and this. It feels like the standard is low now for Naismith. No knock on the guy, but Tim Hardaway's in there. Tim Hardaway's in there. I don't know if he's Hall of Fame worthy career, Rudy. I mean, he got a chip, but towards the end of his career, well, he got a chip with the Miami, right? I think so.
Was it Miami?
Was it Miami?
I can't remember.
The point is
Miami.
The point is he's in. And I was actually at that Hall of Fame induction when he was a part of it, and I was scratching my head like, huh? Okay.
Well, I don't mind. I don't mind Hardaway. I don't mind Reggie Miller in the Hall of Fame. I don't mind guys that don't have Hall of Fame credentials. I don't mind if Draymond gets in the Hall of Fame. What I do mind is players that are not in the Hall yet or haven't completed their career think they're, Mr. Big Time and Mr. Big Shot when they can't accomplish anything without the assistance of 2 or 3 other guys on their team. If you put Draymond, which he's been by himself on that Warriors team due to injury to Steph and Clay, when he's played, the Warriors have looked horrible. He averages 2 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists. I mean, what you mean to tell me that without Steph, you claim to be a Hall of Famer, you claim to be one of the best players in the game, yada yada, but without the guys that rescue you, what are you doing? You're not doing anything. So I can see. I don't mind him getting in. I'd rather celebrate guys, from our past and current players now that deserve to be in the Hall of Fame, rather than just bringing them down every single chance. Barkley was in his era. Draymond's in his era. You can't tell me you're better than Charles when the numbers don't lie. You're not better than Charles Barkley.
And I feel bad for Barkley when it's like everybody's go-to is, well, you never want a ring. And that's kind of sucky. Yeah, that's everybody's go-to.
It's ring culture. I mean, I don't hear guys like Speedy Claxton saying, "Hey, Barkley, you suck because I have one more ring than you do."
Yeah.
I mean, nobody says that, and that's what I hate about the ring culture, man. We got to get off here just a little bit before we go, Jeff. PSA, man.
Oh yes.
Spurs fans, we've been asked to let you know that it's okay to celebrate. It's okay to go honky. And I saw a couple people on X today like, well, why are cops acting like that? Why are they telling us not to go honk? No one's saying not to honk.
Yeah.
They're just saying don't act like a fool, man. Don't set the streets on fire. It's not 4th of July every single Spurs victory.
No, it isn't.
Fireworks. I mean, you can chill, you can relax, and yeah, you know what? If you're acting a fool, the cops are going to be there right next to you. So if you act that way, they're going to come after you the same way the same treatment you give them is the same way they're going to be towards you. So I really hope Spurs fans, if they get a win tonight, it's Friday night.
Oh no!
Chill on military.
And they don't have to work the next day, Rudy. There's no work the next day.
Y'all want to go chill on Jeff So's stomping ground on military when he would cruise on Sunday nights, or you want to go on Commerce where I used to cruise on Friday nights. I mean, do whatever you want to do, but be responsible, man. Celebrate the Spurs way, Jeff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no need to light the streets on fire. I had somebody on X like kind of call me out, like, "Oh, you didn't have proof." That there's like the streets were lit on fire. There's proof out there. There's video out there of an individual dumping gasoline on San Antonio streets and lighting it on fire. There's video of people stopping traffic. There's video of fans getting into shouting matches with SAPD.
Yeah.
And there's other videos out there that just show like things are escalating, and I think it's a little too fast in the wrong direction. Now, you're right. There is a way to still celebrate. Nobody's saying don't go partying and celebrating and going to your bar and grabbing a cold one and cheering with your friends. That's fine. Have at it. But just relax, man. Relax. You know what it feels like? I blame the social media culture for this, because it's all about, oh, I got this video and I got this video and look at this, and instigating it, and it's going viral and everything, and people want the clicks and the clout and it just like kind of like that's like the germination, like it just germinates from there, just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. My fear in my gut right now tells me I think something's gonna pop off soon. Either some stupid fans are gonna flip a car or something bad's gonna happen. And I hate to see that, because Spurs fans, all eyes are on San Antonio right now. They're in the postseason. They're in the semifinals. They're a hot ticket right now. Wemby, the rest of the crew. All eyes are on San Antonio. They're showing now downtown San Antonio during commercial breaks. They rarely would do that. It was just the Frost Center. Now they're showing the skyline. I would hate, to just not go there. And then, or the ultimate, Rudy, is that all these little parties after every win, it gets worse and worse to the point where SAPD and the city says, you know what, we can't do this anymore because nobody can control themselves. And that'll really suck.
Yeah, well, and that's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid that coming up and then saying, hey, Spurs fans, you're getting a little too hectic. We're going to have to control it. Maybe everybody just go downtown. It's more contained. You're not able to do this. You're not able to do that. And I get it, man. People want to have fun. People, I think somebody on X said, oh, I went honking after every Spurs win back in 2014 in the playoffs. And I'm like, I don't remember that. I don't remember that at all. I mean, I remember going honking when they won the title.
Yeah, that I remember. Yeah.
I don't remember fans honking every single time they got a victory in the playoffs. But if, again, we didn't have social media, or it wasn't really big, a lot around that time period. So you don't want to be, okay, so you want to get the viral moment, I get, but you don't want to be the viral moment. Exactly. You don't want to be that viral moment where it gets you in trouble, gets you arrested, something bad, God forbid, someone, ends up getting killed out there. I mean, there's a lot of stuff can happen on the streets. There's only so many SAPD officers that can be out there at one time. So again, party, have a fun, celebrate, party right. Just do it the right way. Everybody knows the right way is the Spurs way. So that's our PSA.
And I'm really interested about tonight though, because like I mentioned, it is a Friday night. Most people don't have to work tomorrow. I really want to see how San Antonio behaves if the Spurs win, and I hope they do win. But if they do win, San Antonio, have fun, go at it, just chill.
I mean, that's the thing. Just chill, be relaxed, be calm.
And I don't want to be that, and I don't want to be like that old boomer guy, like, oh, kids, y'all better settle down. And I'm not like that. I'm not trying to be that. I mean, you don't believe me? Go to Spurs and Focus Substack. There's an article of fellow Spurs fans calling out those fans, those few fans that are escalating things, and basically they're just saying stop.
Yeah, yeah. We've experienced celebrations before with Spurs championships. We just never. We see it from LA. We see it, in New York and Boston, all these places that win titles. We see them flipping cars and tearing down the traffic lights and lighting stuff on fire. We see them celebrating like that. We've never seen it in San Antonio.
No, we haven't seen it.
Kind of going that way.
Yeah, again, it's trending in that direction. Yeah,
you got to stop it before it gets completely to there. So, like we said earlier, we understand you want to catch the viral moment. Just don't become the viral moment. That's what we're trying to say. Is that you've got to party right. You got to do it the right way, which is the Spurs way. Jeff, I appreciate you joining me here on the Friday edition. What do you got going on with Spurs Focus? Because it seems like I'm always on that show, man.
Well, hey, it's the Sports Answer, man. You guys, we all partnered up here. So, yeah, obviously you're going to be one of the major persons showing up more often than not. But for sure, yeah, look at today's show. Still got time. Game time is now for about 2.5 hours still. Go check out our Spurs in Focus Game 3 preview. We give predictions. We give stats that we like, don't like, our general thoughts on the series so far. We even hear from Steph Castle. And there's a video of him talking about the Game 2 win. Go check it out. It's right now. You want to go on YouTube, just go to YouTube, search Spurs in Focus, hit subscribe. That should be your first and only spot for all things San Antonio Spurs. You can ignore all the other Spurs-related shows on YouTube. You only want to go to Spurs in Focus and the Substack. Rudy, I don't know if I told you this, but our producer, Shemaiah, he's paying for the first 500 subscribers. You know that? I haven't told him yet. So if y'all hit subscribe, the bill goes to our producer, Shemaiah. So run up that bill. Go subscribe. It's completely free because Shemaiah is paying for it. And go sign up right now. Just Google Spurs in Focus. Go sign up. Check it out. They had that article about what Spurs fans are saying about these few other Spurs fans that are causing some ruckus. You have even an announcement from the city of San Antonio. Go find out where you can get free watch parties. No, these are not the Spurs watch parties. This is the city of San Antonio sponsored watch party. And did you know this? I did not know this. You can go check out the details about this. But Rudy and Shemaiah, I know he's listening. Do you know for Game 5, the city of San Antonio is hosting a viewing party on a river barge?
I did not know that.
Yeah, you can go on a river barge and like enjoy the game 5. And you can go check out all the details at Spurs in Focus right now.
See, so if the Spurs end up winning, we're going to see people jumping off of a barge in the river. So,
never mind. San Antonio, cancel it.
That's awesome. After we just told them not to be crazy, we're putting them on a barge, man. That's going to be even worse now. Yeah, Jeff, I appreciate you joining us again. Go subscribe to the Substack, Spurs in Focus. It's completely free. So that's why we're charging Shemaiah for 500 subscribers to get on there. Because it's
run up that bill, everybody.
Exactly. Run up that bill. This is Rudy Campos Jr. Again, Derek Irvin will be back next week. Thanks again to Jeff Garcia. And again, this is the Friday Drive. You can go to Answer Now TV, hit that subscribe button, go to Spurs in Focus on YouTube, hit that subscribe button for Jeff. And again, shout out to Salem Surround. Best in the business. Contact them today, 210-526-3635. Remember, if you got those sports answers, we got the sports questions, and we're glad that you were on with us here for the Friday Drive. We'll see you guys next week.